Hello, welcome to Switched On. Paul speaking. I'm going to be having a second look at AO Tennis 2 on the Nintendo Switch. This game came out yesterday, and we was advised there was a big patch dropping, which dropped early this morning on Friday. Apparently, this is a patch to bring the Switch and the PC versions up to the level that the PS4 version launched, and apparently there is another patch coming as well. I can't confirm that. I've just, from what I've read on Reddit and Twitter, that there is another patch in the works for all platforms. That will improve some things. This was just a basic day one patch. There has definitely been some things changed from yesterday. Most notably, first of all, there's a new nice shiny icon for the Switch, which is always nice. There are some new things as we go into the game as well. There's like a new introduction to each match, like a little bit of a video montage that they had with Cricket 19 that's kind of made it into the game. And there's a couple of other little things as well. I didn't notice anything massively major. So we'll have to see how that unfolds and keep an eye on if another patch comes. But that's the update that came today. As I say, nothing groundbreaking that I've found. What I'm going to do is just show you the career mode, and also as part of that show you the player editor. So we're going to go into here. You can manage, which is where all your save characters would be. So there's Andy Murray that we downloaded yesterday. But we're going to create a new male character for this career. Now, when you start a career, you can actually start with your own created character or use one of the existing pros as well, which is a really nice feature, which is really cool. We'll stick with dollars. The match difficulty. Now, I was playing on rookie yesterday when I made the video, and I've since found out that basically on rookie level, it's more or less impossible to hit the ball out of the court. Sort of keeps it inside the court for you. So it's really hard to lose points. On the next level up, which is amateur, you can definitely hit it outside the court if you aim too far out or hit too much power outside of the court. And even after that, there is lots of other levels of difficulty, but we're going to stick on amateur for now. So keep it in dollars, standard points, download venues. These are just all basic options. We're going to leave these in. What I might change actually is let's just change some of the sets or games per set. We'll leave the actual big ones up. We'll leave that the best of 3. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's crack on. What I'm going to do is do the player editor, show you how that works, and then we'll go into the career. I'll probably start a couple of matches, but I won't play them all. So this video isn't going to be too long. I will sort of edit and skip around those matches, just give you a bit of a flavour of what it's like to play against the lower ranked players, but we won't play out any full matches, so don't worry about that. So here, as I said, you can be a star player, so one of the existing players in the game. I believe that also includes downloaded players as well, so I could start as Andy Murray that I downloaded from the Creation Suite yesterday. You can start a new player. And again, as you saw from a couple of screens back, you can be a male or a female player as well. Not going to play around with this too much. We'll leave the name as John Smith. Date of birth, fine. Voiceover surname, which is quite cool. When the sort of announcers are announcing your name, you can leave it whatever. Leave it as Burditch. You can use different sort of voicing as well. That's all fine. Nationality, residence is all fine. Appearance. So here's where we get into. Wow, when he takes his hat off, his hair explodes. We can. Have a look at some of these things here, so we can randomize. Doesn't really change. Oh, it doesn't change too much, but it was just taking a little while to load in. So you've got the random option, which usually comes with these sort of games. So you can change the height, skin tone. So I'm not going to go through every option. Don't worry. Most of these are fairly obvious. Just want to give you guys an idea of how this works. So upper torso. Leg size, big chunky thighs. Look at that haircut. That is a Peaky Blinders haircut. Tommy, get the guns. So again, you can change a lot of things here. So eye socket tint, really important to be able to tweak that. But I mean, I'm being disingenuous. You can change a lot. As you can see, there's a lot of options. As I say, I won't go through everyone. I don't want to edit out that. Let's just quickly go through some of these. So as you can see, it's really in depth. Lots of things that you can change here. I'm sure nobody wants me to go through every option and actually tweak a face because it's so boring. I don't even like doing it myself in my own games, but if I just flick through the options here, at least if you do like editing your player, which I don't mind doing, it's just a little bit boring, and I will do it if I've got the time, but I don't want to waste your time, but I will show you the options here that you've got. Yeah, so that's that, and then you've got some sort of jewellery options, so you can have an earring should you desire. Looks like a pirate now. Oh no, I don't want to back out. Right, clothing options. Apparently Big Ant are adding some new clothing options in. One thing I did notice when I was picking the players yesterday, and I didn't show it off in the video, is that you can have multiple costumes as well. So a bit like in football, we have home and away kits and a third kit or a legendary kit. You can create sort of wardrobes for your player, save them, and then on the player select screen you can sort of flick through your saved wardrobe. So that's really cool, because I did notice there's like a colourful outfit, and then there's like a white outfit for Wimbledon that a lot of the players have got. So that kind of thing. So that's really cool. So you've got all these options here: hats, sweatbands, trainers, glasses, walk-on bag when you walk onto the court, and your racket details as well. So that's really cool. Play style, we can set up that, obviously what handed you are, what sort of strokes you use, two-handed, one-handed. It says, keeps popping up at the top there, you can unlock new options by winning tournaments, but I don't know what that was all about. But that's cool. And then level up, so as you earn money, you can spend it here to level up. You can see the cost in dollars. We've got $175,000 at the top to start with, and you can spend that money on creating your player, because obviously you're going to want to, you know, start at a baseline of being a decent player. So you can sort of customize a build really. If you're like a good forehand player, you can pump all your money into your forehand. There's lots of training as well as we go into the career mode. You can do sort of training sessions. Seems that a level seems to be going up. I don't know quite what a sort of a good starting level is. We're level 32 at the moment, so we'll see how that plays out in the career. So that's the creation suite. As you saw from the video yesterday, if you've seen that, if you haven't, please go back and watch it. But you can save these options online, and it's little cutscenes here in the career mode. So have a little listen in.
Pro, I knew you had this in you from when you were just a child. We'll catch up from time to time, run through some important decisions, and do what we can to get you some titles, and then, who knows, world #1? Have a look through your tablet, as this is where we'll work on things like training, sponsorship decisions, and more.
So there you go, it's pretty cool. So you've received a new message. Welcome to the new year. You have a year of hard work ahead. Make sure you plan out your year using the weekly planner to maximise your ability. So at the minute we're stuck with 3 tabs on top. Got an overview tab, you've got the calendar, current rankings, and the week planner, so you can add sort of events to your week as you go through the career. My player, this is where it allows you to update your stats, attributes. Management, here you can hire new staff, sponsorship and everything like that, so that's really cool. None of those are unlocked yet. But we've got a trainer. Well, we just spent a load of money on a trainer, which we'll probably need anyway, so that's fine. And then you've got kind of this activity feed, which is like your emails and messages and stuff, so that's fine. So if we go into the calendar, we've got these futures events, which are sort of beginner events, and you can choose to play in these. So it looks like this is an exhibition against Helmut Muller, or you can play in the Adelaide Futures event. Bit like a World Tennis Tour as well. It's sort of, you've got this calendar that if you travel across the world, it's going to cost you fatigue to travel. So you kind of got to link your travel up. So, you know, travelling here from the UK to Australia is going to take 58% of my fatigue before I get there. Take 24 hours travelling time. Oh no, it looks like we're based in Australia. Oh, of course we're based in Australia, aren't we actually? So that was, yeah, that's going to play Helmut Muller in France. So yeah, that's from Australia to France. So still the same kind of thing. 58% fatigue, 24 hours travel to get to France. $25,000 if we win that. Or we can play in the Adelaide Futures, and considering we're based in Australia, that's going to be no travel time at all, no fatigue. So I think we'll take that. And you can do these other things here. So you can rest and you can take on training. They both take a week by the look of it. So let's have a look at training for week 1. Or we can rest and train. So we'll take one of these. And what's the shortest travel distance? That's to Cairns in the north of the region. That's going to take 2 hours. So we'll do that. Week 3, we'll rest. And then week 4, we'll go to Tavula for another futures event. Oh, that's a doubles tournament. Okay. Right, so that's fine. Well, maybe we'll do some more training in the second week. So you can go through the whole week, the whole year actually, and plan out everything, which is really cool. So week 1, we've got this training. Begin a training minigame to increase the level caps on your skills. So we've got lots of different kind of things that we can try here. I think the value on the right is your current skill, I think. So let's try the backhand flat, because that's quite low at the minute. We can change different types of training, which is pretty cool. Let's try the target multiplier, starting at level 1. Let's have a look at this. If it drags on for too long, I will just skip through it, just to give you a flavour. Just to say as well, before I do skip this bit forward, the loading in this game is quite lengthy, so it can take anything up to sort of 45 seconds to a minute. It feels lengthy when you're loading matches in, but I'll skip this anyway, and we'll come back for some training. Okay, so here we are at the training. We are currently using the backhand. So we need the ground stroke, which is that. And then trying to hit it into the target. That's a better shot. You can see the indicator next to the player. I don't think we spoke too much about this yesterday, because I say it was on an amateur level. But you got the little dot there just above your head that goes from red, amber, green, and you want to try and it's basically the timing. The longer you hold down the button, the more that colour changes. Oh, I'm doing the wrong shot. What a donut. Yeah, so you want to hit it in the green so the timing's right. Amber will be not so accurate. Red could, fly off your racket at any angle. So this training is good because it is improving your your actual gameplay skills of getting the timing off of these shots and that kind of thing. But also it'll improve the stats for that type of shot for your player. There we go. We did eventually get up to that. So you get the idea of the training. So that was the training. Here we can see our rewards for what we got. So we completed all 3 levels, and our level cap for the backhand flat shot goes up a little bit. That's cool. So we move on to week 2, which is the Australian Futures 25 held in Cairns. You can see on the right hand side a little bit of an overview. I'm not sure what all the icons do yet. I'm assuming the top one, the battery, is your fatigue. So obviously we're not fatigued yet because we've not really played anything. We haven't travelled, so that's fine. But I'm not sure what the other 2 icons mean. Hopefully that will become clear. There's a plus button for help here. Ah, here we go. So I like this sort of thing. These games where you can get the help overlay, that really helps. So, yeah, top one was stamina, reputation, how famous your player is, form, current form, indicator will inform you of injuries, current rankings, advanced next event, and weekly planner. So that's really good. And obviously your career funds at the top. Yeah, I really, really like this career mode. I love career modes in sports games, especially when there's a lot to them, like there is in this and in cricket. I mean, the Cricket 19 game that Big Ant did, if you haven't played that and you like cricket, do yourself a favour and check that out, because their career mode was amazing. So here is the Futures event. Looks like a short event. I don't really know. Apologies if I assume these are real life events, but I'm not a massive tennis fan, must be said. So our first round match is against Jay Dragov. You can simulate the matches, you can see there. But we've got 3 rounds, and then quarterfinals, semi-finals, and a final. I guess there's a couple of sections here as well. So if we go into the match, as I say, I'm going to skip the loading. We'll play a little bit of the match. So don't worry. Don't think you've got to sit here for sort of 15-20 minutes and watch me bumble around the court. I'll just skip through some of the gameplay so you can see what it's like. But we can see our player here is quite underpowered. We are playing against the number 1 seed, Jakub Dragov, from Romania, I think he was. But you can see our stats, how low they are. If you press ZL and ZR, you can flick between your skills and your overall. But we are way powered down. And if you press the bumper buttons, L and R, we can flick through those uniforms that I spoke to you about. So if you've got any saved uniforms, so we'll confirm Dragov. We've got no other uniforms to change into because we didn't set any up. But you can do that in your career mode. So we'll come back when the game's loaded into the first match. So here we go. This is the new intro that was added today in the update. It's like a little cinematic intro to each match. It's quite nice because it features the actual players as well. But you can see there the texture resolution is way down. Really, really poor. I'm really hoping these textures get fixed because they're just some of the worst textures I've seen in a Switch game. You notice the bats at some point, the rackets at some point. The resolution of the strings is so low, it just looks like you're holding an opaque piece of glass. Not great. I mean, all these little things don't really detract from the actual playing of the match, but yeah, just not great to look at. I tend not to compare Switch games to sort of PlayStation and Xbox because I don't really think it's fair, because obviously they're going to be better versions. But yeah, when you see this on another console, it's kind of night and day. Oh, so you can see there, now we're on the amateur level, you can see you can quite easily hit it out of bounds if you're not careful. You've got that white marker at the other end of the court. But for all its sort of faults with the textures and stuff, like I say, once you actually play in the point, I don't think it looks too bad. And most importantly, it is quite a fun tennis game to play. And again, it's a bad shot choice. Guess as well, it's going to look worse gameplay-wise at the moment. If you remember that, we are in a career mode with a low-stat player that we need to build up. So, it may well be the case that our shots don't look particularly powerful or not particularly accurate, but it's not sort of indication of playing with, say, Rafa Nadal. And again, we hit it out. 40 love down. Nice cinematic replays there. I really like these sort of overhead replays. Really give you sort of a good view of the court. Ooh, that was close. Now, if you press ZL and ZR together, you can challenge a call, and you get this sort of Hawkeye view. And it was out by some way, wasn't it? But it's really good that you can do that challenge. So that's ZL, ZR at the same time, and you can do a challenge. So it's another quick, easy game for the AI. Remember the first of 3 games in these futures events that I set it to? Lots of nice animations as well of different shot types, which is really nice to see. The whole thing feels really smooth. I know some people have said it looks sluggish in the comments yesterday, which I think is a fair enough comment, especially when you see it on sort of PlayStation running. But that said, it feels oddly nice to play on the Switch. It's like, I don't know if it's the slower pace that I just personally enjoy better, but oh, what a shot that was. Yeah, it just, even though it looks sluggish, it doesn't feel like you're fighting against the controls to get shots in. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's not sluggish to the point where you can't play the game. So first set there to Dragov. What we're going to do is just show you how the simulation works. Show you a couple of things actually. Let's just pause it. We've got this new statistics menu which we didn't have yesterday. So you can see here it shows you the direction and strength of your serve. So let's simulate the rest of the match. So you can do... I'm sure we could just set it to rest of the match. Let's just say stop after sets. And it just simulates the rest of the match for you. So Dragov comfortably wins 3 games to love. We've got 3 sets as well. See the same stats there at the end. So that's the career mode match. Let's go back to the main menu. Here we're back, one of the career mode cutscenes after the match. Bit of an empty press room at the moment. So what are you planning now to do after your first loss? So come back next week and try again. Learn from the experience. Try better next time. I went too easy on him. Won't make that mistake again. Bit like Formula 1. If you've played the Formula 1 games on PlayStation, you get this sort of multiple choice media questions. I don't think I've got any fans, so I don't really want to talk to them. Now, I think this does all feed into your career mode. I don't think this is just pointless fluff. I do think this actually plays into like what sponsors you get, how many fans you get, how much money you make, all that kind of thing. So it is worth doing those little press conferences. See if we get some XP there towards our level up. And then we've actually got a report back about the press conference. So you've received a new message, latest press conference report. It seems you had a bit of a mixed reaction from the press during your latest conference. You should consider your responses a bit more carefully. So there you go, we've already got the back of the press up. So there you go, so we go on to the next event, which will be a rest, and then we'd do some more training, and then we'd set up the next week. So we need to do week 5, 6 and 7. But it's just basically to give you an idea of how this one all looks. I really, really enjoy the career mode. I think it's a really nice deep career mode. There's going to be lots to aim for there. If you see how much our player needs to level up, we're going to have to do lots of grinding on these little tournaments to get better, which I really like doing. It's realistic, and it gives you lots and lots to aim for, and it gives you really sense of satisfaction as you start improving, I would imagine. So definitely going to be sticking with this one. But I think we will end this video there. Hope you enjoyed that bit of a deeper look at AO Tennis 2 on the Nintendo Switch. Leave me a comment below if you've got any questions or thoughts about this one, and I'll try and answer them as soon as possible. I'll probably drop another video or 2 over the weekend, so if anything specific you want to see, again, please let me know below, and I'll try and get that in for you. But until then, I will catch you all next time. Thanks everyone, bye bye.